rainy and stormy, and as I warned you guys, guess what? The FDA just approved the Pfizer. Now, make no mistake, they're going to approve all of them. And, you know, I remember the first time I really started trying to explain to people, at least on air, people that I respected, why this was a false argument to say something like, well, it's, you know, it's experimental and it's not even FDA approved. Well, I knew the FDA was going to approve this. And the thing is, there are plenty of things out there that have gotten FDA approval that I would have no part in. No part in at all. And then, yesterday, I specifically did a video on the FDA. Why? I could see that they were going for the throat now. Remember? The I word was trending, and they started bashing it, telling you you're not a horse, or you're not a cow. And that's now making the rounds in the mainstream media. It's weird how Jason Burma seems to be so ahead of the mainstream media, whether it be days, weeks, months, or sometimes years, right? So here's what's going to go down, okay? And I'm going to be doing a full video on this, because what you're seeing in, say, Australia is eventually what they want all the time here in the United States. Let me repeat that. What you're seeing in Australia now is what they want here all the time for anything arbitrarily, and they're already using the apps. We're going to show you that Google, Samsung, and Apple later are already in on this QR code thing. Remember I was telling you from the very beginning, it's not just going to be show me your papers. It's going to be the digital passport. By the way, only 24 thumbs up. Guys, this is big news. We got to get this up. We got to get this out. We got to let people know this is step one. This is step one. And what it's going to mean is more and more mandates for more and more people across the board, young and old, and not just for shot uno or dos, but shot tres and cuatro and cinco. You got it? Remember, when people like Gates and others were discussing this in the very beginning, they were openly saying 3 to 5 shots. Some of those videos were taken down, right? Because they also discussed the fact that, you know, there was really no efficacy on transmission. And then as they came out and they had their buzz terms of safe and effective, you know, they would even admit there was no efficacy of transmission. But again, they wanted to shield that information from everybody and get the buzz terms in. And only now have they created a new buzz term, which they knew all along. It's not a breakthrough case, guys. It's just a case because none of these shots stop transmission or were ever advertised that way. Do you understand? So I'm going to play this like 3-minute clip. They are pulling people over. And, you know, earlier this week, I was at lunch with somebody, a friend of mine, my buddy Justin. And I was trying to explain to him in real time what was going on in Australia. And he could not fathom what I was telling him. He, you know, again, he did his part. Not only did he get it, but I believe he took the shots, right? He thinks this is all over because we live in Iowa. And, you know, things have progressively gotten better here because they were never that bad. That's why I moved my family here. Again, my nieces had their first day of school today mask-free. I want to reiterate that, okay? That's reality. Thank God. That's a big win for me, all right? I even with the storm, I hope they're enjoying themselves because I know they were looking forward to this, okay? So this guy, I go, he starts like, he cannot believe what I am saying, right? So he goes, if you were going to ask somebody in Australia something, what would you do right now? Because this is you know, this is a guy who's done some work in the entertainment industry, happens to know somebody there. And I go, if you were going to text somebody, go, how serious are the COVID restrictions there? The news is reporting, you know, the news is reporting some crazy things. You don't even have to put the crazy things. So he puts it in there. And all of a sudden, he's getting things back I can't say on this channel. But one of the scariest things, and one of the things that's not being discussed, is that they have a stadium for shots there in which they are taking 12-year-olds without the permission of their parents, and bringing them in to do you know what. This is it. Okay, they're going to approve all these things. They're not God. Just because the FDA or the CDC says something doesn't mean they are correct. Doesn't mean they have your best interests at heart. All these three-letter acronyms. Do you trust the CIA? Do you trust the WHO? I don't. I have a thing called common sense. Okay? And the dominoes are going to start to fall. You would expect that more than likely the Moderna shots are going to go next, and then eventually the Johnson & Johnson shots as well. And again, if you're naive enough to believe, wow, is this a train coming through? This would be a train. That's the first time in the Quad Cities I've seen the railroad crossing go off. Wow, interesting stuff. Here we are. Thumbs it up, subscribe, and share, everybody. So look, FDA approval, you can bet within the coming months that probably in the next 2 months, all of them will be approved by the FDA. That's what I think. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm not. What is going on here? Okay, so there it is right there. There's the actual train. Okay, people were going through, and now they're not. Okay, great. Oh, guys, we're living in wild times, and these digital passports will not leave. That's why this New York City key to the city pass, it needs to go. It needs to go. It needs to go. You know, Cuomo is still in there. I think he's serving his last day today. But this woman has already made it clear she wants to mask up your kids there. Okay? Crime is all over the place. Listen, I haven't played the New York City crime stuff in a while because of all the other serious things that are going on. But people are being attacked with hatchets at ATMs. Let me repeat that. Hatchets at ATMs. Hammers at the subway stations. Okay? Ice-T's friend and producer just gunned down in a parking lot. Parked on a main street. Dude just comes out with a cell phone, casually walks, blah, 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 blah. Crime is out of control there. It's out of control. All these authoritarian dictates are never going away. They're never going away unless we make them go away. The FDA is not your friend. The CDC is not your friend. All right? These are bureaucratic organizations that have been taken hold by a predator class that is now trying to usher in fourth industrial revolution. Okay? And that means total and complete control of a global populace while promoting digital slavery, okay? Digital slavery, and us transcending our bodies and identifying as unicorns and leprechauns and non-binary. That's what this really is. That's what this really is. It's time to grow up. You know, I was scrolling through my feed today and I saw somebody say something to Hotep Jesus, and I follow him on Twitter, and he basically said, thanks for white-splaining this to me, but he was talking about how the boops, the shots, supposedly had a weakened form, a micro form of the virus. That's not true. That's not true. Okay, that's not a thing. Okay, so I posted underneath, I go, well, actually, no, none of these things have a micro version of the virus at all. That's not real. Okay, in fact, these are mRNA and vector-based technologies. So then I get an anonymous troll account, which I think, was, is it Dale on King of the Hill? I haven't watched King of the Hill in forever, but the conspiracy theorist guy, right? And I think it was like semen all over him. It's an anonymous troll account made in February. The guy's got multiple accounts because he's constantly getting banned, apparently. Where he says, he says, yes, they do, and he posts something from mRNA where it says has substance from the virus. And I looked at it, I go, dude, material from or substance from a virus is not the same thing. I mean, viruses have a lot of things going on in them. And then he admits that, and he goes, well, they do the same thing. And I'm just like, yeah, I'm glad that you admitted you were wrong in the post, and then called me a name to show, your cowardice as well. It's crazy. It's crazy. And, I see it right over there, stock up on food. I just saw a piece the other night where they're talking about actual water shortages in this country. And we've seen they privatized water. We did that story this year, in the last 12 months. They've privatized water in this country. They've made it so it's on the market. All right, now they're telling you all of a sudden, as soon as that happens, there's going to be shortages of it. Bill Gates owns the most farmland in the world, or I'm sorry, in the country, not the world, as far as I know, the country. And we're acting, again, like they haven't been bioengineering things and geoengineering things in this country and across the world. When I say they, I talk about the military-industrial complex. This is all happening in real time. The FDA is not legitimate. The CDC is not legitimate. They must be dealt with. And when I mean dealt with, I mean they must be disbanded, and those that knew and those that colluded and even those that bootlicked and allowed this to happen, they need to be held criminally accountable. That's where we need to put our technology, all right, into actual prison facilities for these people. Once they are tried and convicted by a jury of their peers, and believe me, if it is just a jury of their peers, they will be, and put them there so they can never do this again, so they can leave humanity alone. I mean, how prophetic were some of the things that Huxley was talking about last night in that watch-along, in that interview? I mean, if you haven't seen that yet, it's a must-watch. So, guys, this is what's going to happen. In a little bit, I'm going to be doing, an FDA approval emergency broadcast. I'm going to be showing you what's going on in Australia firsthand. They're pulling people over for being out. They have QR code passports for. It's not just going to be for this. I assure you, that's not what this is. It just keeps getting worse if we don't push back. So, guys, make sure you thumbs the video up, subscribe, and share. We're on the cusp of 63,000 again, but YouTube's not where it's at. Where are we going to get crazy and uncensored, huh? Where are we going to say what we really need to say? Over on Rockman. Go make that free Rockman account. I do want to thank those that have made the premium accounts, and we'll see you over there probably in about an hour, 90 minutes, maybe 2 hours. I love you, and I will see you all on the flip side.